I want to tell you something I'm still a little embarrassed about. My name's Brianna. I moved to Columbus alone at 23 to take a job at an animal clinic, and I will tell you right now that I am not a person who gets fooled easily. I check sources, I look things up. I had a professor in college who called me the most skeptical person in the room, and I took that as a compliment. So when I tell you that a man I met on a dating app spent 6 weeks making me believe he was real, making me feel something I hadn't felt in a long time, and then asked me for money, and I drove to a pharmacy to send it, I need you to understand something. I'm not telling you this because I think it couldn't happen to you. I'm telling you this because I thought it couldn't happen to me. His name was Tyler, or that's what he told me. We matched on Hinge, he said all the right things, and for 6 weeks, I believed every word of it. But I should start at the beginning. I'd been in Columbus about 8 months when this happened. I knew my coworkers and I knew the route to the grocery store, and that was about it. I had a rescue greyhound named Fig, who I talked to more than I talked to most people, which tells you something about where I was socially. I'd been on Hinge for 4 months. 1 date. It was fine. Nothing came of it. I wasn't devastated about it or anything. I was just, I don't know how else to put it. I was available in that way you get when you've built a functional life, but you're doing all of it alone. Tyler matched with me in early November. His opening message was about Fig. I had a photo of her on my profile, one of those ridiculous greyhound photos where they look like they're made of elbows. And he said something specific about it, not just cute dog, something specific. It felt like he'd actually looked. Within about 10 days, we moved from Hinge to WhatsApp. He suggested it, said he hated the app interface. I didn't think anything of it. People do that. Over the next 6 weeks, I want you to understand what this actually looked like from the inside. We texted from the time I woke up until I went to sleep. Not every minute, but consistently. Morning, afternoon, evening. He called a handful of times, real phone calls. And when I say he listened, I mean he actually listened. He'd bring up something I'd mentioned 3 days earlier. Ask how it turned out. I'm not used to that. I want to be honest with you about that. When I asked about a video call, he told me he was on a flip phone he'd borrowed from a friend after his old one died. No camera on it. He was getting a new one next month. I filed that away. It was a little odd, but it was also just a thing that happens. People have old phones. I moved on. One night, late, maybe 11:30, we were in the middle of one of those long texting conversations that just keeps going, and he told me he looked forward to talking to me every day. And then he said he'd never felt like this with anyone he'd dated. I didn't say it back, but I thought it. I'd told my coworker Janelle about him. I'd pulled myself off Hinge. Whatever this was, I didn't want to jinx it. The message came on a Tuesday. I was on my lunch break at the clinic, sitting in the break room, phone in my hand. He said he'd been hurt at the job site, something with a forklift, his ankle. He was at urgent care. They wanted payment up front, he said. And he couldn't file workers' comp because he'd been working under the table while his immigration review was pending. He needed $340. Not Venmo, not Zelle, a money order, because his bank account was frozen from a billing dispute last month. I read it once. And I want to be honest with you about what happened next, because it's not what you might expect. I didn't immediately think something was wrong. I felt something, a small thing, like a question I couldn't quite form, but I talked myself through it. He's hurt. He needs help. I can do this. That's what I told myself. I drove to the Walgreens on Bethel Road on my lunch break. I was going to send the money. I want you to understand that. I was standing at the counter ready to do it, and there was a sign, one of those printed fraud warnings taped to the counter, the kind that's been there so long the edges are yellowing, and you walk past it 100 times without reading it. I read it. It said, if someone you met online asks you to send a money order or prepaid card because they can't use other payment methods, because of an emergency, because of a bank issue, because of a work situation, stop, do not send it. This is a scam. I stood there and I read that sign and I read it again. The cashier asked if I was ready. I said I needed a minute. I stepped away from the counter. I did not go back. I sat in my car in the Walgreens parking lot for about 4 minutes, and I want to tell you what that felt like, because it wasn't relief. It was this cold, specific dread, like when you're driving and you realize you went through a red light and you didn't even see it. I opened his profile photo on WhatsApp. I pressed and held it until I could save it. I opened Google. I did an image search. It took about 15 seconds. And the results came back and I just sat there. The photo, his photo, Tyler's photo, the one I'd been looking at for 6 weeks, it linked back to an Instagram account. Not his. Someone named Derek Foss, fitness coach, Denver, Colorado. I clicked through to Derek's Instagram. It was real, active, recent posts, and the photos matched. Every single one. I sat in that parking lot until my lunch break was over and I didn't move. I went back inside the clinic and I finished my shift and I did not text Tyler back. Not once. That evening I opened Instagram and I found Derek Foss's account again and I sent him a DM. I told him I knew this was strange. I told him I'd matched with someone on a dating app who had been using his photos. I told him we'd been talking for 6 weeks. I apologized for even having to say it. He responded in about 2 hours. He said, "This has happened before." He said he knew of at least 2 other accounts that had used his photos. He wasn't surprised. He said it almost gently, like he was sorry to not be more shocked. I don't know why that was the moment it became real to me. Not the image search, not the sign at the pharmacy counter. The moment a real person, someone whose face I'd spent 6 weeks looking at, someone I thought I knew, told me he had no idea who I was. That was when I felt it. That was when next morning I told Janelle before we'd even started opening the clinic. Now, I need you to understand something about Janelle. Janelle has been listening to true crime and fraud podcasts for 2 years. She knows things, specific things. The kind of things that aren't useful in everyday life until suddenly they are extremely useful. I showed her the WhatsApp number. She said, "Give me 10 minutes. She ran it through a reverse lookup tool she already had bookmarked. I'm not going to pretend I knew what that was before this. And she turned her phone around and showed me. VoIP number. Google Voice. No registered name. No physical location. She said, "This number could be coming from anywhere." Then she kept looking. While I was pulling vaccines for the morning appointments, Janelle was on her phone. And after about 20 minutes she said, "Brianna, come look at this." She'd found a thread on a scam tracking forum. A woman had posted about a month ago. Immigration review. Working under the table. Forklift injury, money order, word for word. Not similar, word for word. I read it standing in the hallway of the clinic with a tray of syringes in my hand. She said, $340? I said yes. She pulled up the post, scrolled to the amount. $340. She didn't say "I told you so." She went quiet, which was somehow worse. That evening we sat in my apartment, Janelle on my couch, me on the floor with Fig pressed against my legs, and we went back through everything. Every call Tyler had made came from the same number, Chicago area code, but Janelle had already looked that up too. A VoIP number can be assigned any area code regardless of where the person actually is. The Chicago area code proved nothing. There was no Tyler in Chicago. There might not be a Tyler anywhere. Janelle had also found the screen name of the woman who posted on the forum. She was from Indianapolis. She'd posted 4 months ago. Janelle said, "I think you should reach out." I sent a message through the forum that night. The next evening, my phone rang. I didn't recognize the number. I answered. She said, "Is this Brianna?" I said yes. She said, "My name is Gwen." I want to tell you about that phone call because it's the part I think about most. Gwen was 41. She'd matched with the same persona, different name, same photos, on a different app. She'd talked to him for about 5 weeks. He told her he listened. He told her he'd never felt like this with anyone he'd dated. She said that part and she paused, and I said, "He said the exact same thing to me," and she said, "I know." She'd sent the money. $340. Money order. She never heard from him again. She filed a report, and nothing came of it, and she posted on that forum because she didn't know what else to do with it. She said, "I just wanted someone to know it happened." I stayed on the phone with her for almost an hour. At some point, Fig put her head in my lap, and I just left my hand on her and didn't move. When we hung up, I sat there for a while. Then I picked up my phone and I texted Tyler. I said, I want to help you. Can you walk me through how to make out the money order? Who do I make it out to? He responded in 4 minutes. He gave me a name. I screenshotted it. I wrote it down on a piece of paper because I didn't trust just the screenshot. I had what I needed. The next day after my shift, I sat in my car in the clinic parking lot. Janelle was in the passenger seat. I had Derek's confirmation on my phone. I had the screenshot of the name. I had Gwen's voice still in my head. I called the WhatsApp number. He answered on the second ring. He said, "Hey, did you get the money order sorted?" And his voice was exactly the same. Warm. Easy. Like nothing had changed. I said, "I need to tell you some things." He said, "Okay." I said, "I know your photos belong to a man named Derek Foss. He's a fitness coach in Denver. I've been talking to him. He knows what you've been doing with his face." He said nothing. I said, "I also talked to a woman named Gwen from Indianapolis. She talked to you 4 months ago. Different name, same photos. She sent you $340. Same amount you asked me for. Same story, same money order." He said nothing. I said, "I've reported this number to the FTC. I've forwarded the WhatsApp account to Meta's fraud team. Derek has filed his own report." And then I looked at the piece of paper in my hand. I read him the name he'd given me for the money order. Just said it. Let it sit there. There was silence. Then the line went dead. He hung up. No denial, no explanation, just gone. Janelle looked at me. I looked at the phone. She said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I don't know yet." I meant it. That was 4 months ago. Fig is asleep on the couch next to me right now, taking up 3/4 of it, which is typical. I put myself back on Hinge eventually. I deleted it again. I might try again. I think about Gwen sometimes, how she posted on that forum because she didn't know what else to do with it, how she said she just wanted someone to know it happened. I know it happened, Gwen. And I know something else too. I didn't catch this because I was smart. I caught it because I stopped to read a sign taped to a pharmacy counter that had probably been there for 2 years. That's it. That's the whole thing. I think about that a lot. If you want to hear more stories like this, please like and subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me.